by twofold.
Democratic Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries calls it.
And good morning and welcome to the WSJM Morning Show for Thursday, July 3rd. Thursday is arguably one of my favorite days of the week. Good morning. I have special guests in the studio today. They're looking at me like, Thursday? Why is Thursday such a great day? No, Natalie Baggio is here, president of Corewell Health, Southwest Michigan. Very good to see you. Welcome to the studios.
Thank you.
Have you ever been in these studios before?
No, this is my very first time.
We've got a lot of questions. This will be good. And Stephanie Kohler-Pagan is here from Lory's place as well. You're the director there. Good to see you too.
It's good to see you too. And I know the answer to why you love Thursdays.
Tell me more.
Because it's Friday Junior.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. It's Friday Junior. And this week is an extra special Thursday because it's July 3rd. We have the community fireworks celebrations. I don't have to go over any bridges, I don't think, today. Have you heard about the bridges? Have either of you been affected by this yet? The Bicentennial Bridge between Benton Harbor, St. Joe?
Yeah, I've only
Just heard
that as well.
So they were working on the bridge and they got their work done pretty much, and they tried to put the bridge back together and it wasn't lining up right. So out of safety precaution, they are not letting traffic go over it right now. And unfortunately, that the reroutes, it backed up traffic on Napier Avenue across the bridge here on the other. So anyway, so a lot of traffic things to think about this week, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about you. So welcome to the WSJM studios. This hour, we're going to talk about the partnership between Lory's Place and Corewell Health and find out what's happening with that in the future. So who wants to give us in a nutshell what's happening right now with Lory's Place and Corewell Health?
Sure, I can do that.
Stephanie Kohler-Pagan.
Absolutely. Right now, we are in the process of filing our own 501c3. So with the support of Corewell Health, particularly Natalie and South, we have been going through that process for some time now and hopefully coming to the end of that fairly soon so that Lory's Place will separate from the health system technically, but our partnership will remain long into the future.
Why is that a good thing?
I think it's a good thing because Lory's Place really has been in partnership with an entity since it opened in 2004.
Yeah.
And it's grown and grown and grown to the point that we're now a part of Corewell Health. Through that, our community has supported us. We've been very successful in that process. And it's just the perfect time, really, to take all of that good news and all that good work that's been done in the community and just go off on our own.
Yeah.
We feel like we have a great foundation that's been built, and it's just the right time.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we look forward to learning more about that. And you've been on the WSJM morning show before. And so but for those who might have missed that episode, we will ask you a little bit more about Lory's Place and what it's all about and the mission and therefore. Also, Natalie Baggio is here. Welcome. So I was looking at the calendar, Natalie, and it's been a year and 2 days since you became president of Corewell Health in Southwest Michigan. How has it been? Congratulations on year one.
Thank you. Yes, I just celebrated my anniversary. It's been great.
Did you get cake?
No.
Oh, all right. Note to staff. Cake would be nice. All right. Sorry.
No, I really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the work. I really am inspired by our mission and building stronger partnerships within our community.
Including with Lory's Place.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. All right. We're going to talk all about that and more in just a couple of minutes. I got to get some local news, and then we'll come back and talk more on the live stream. Okay.
Sounds great.
Wonderful.
All right. We're talking with Natalie Baggio. She's the president of Corewell Health Southwest Michigan. And then also we were talking with Stephanie Kohler-Pagan, director of Lory's Place. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Back with more in just a moment.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit,
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
It's the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning once again. I'm Ken Lundberg. It's 7:05. Temperature outside right now, 69 degrees. And my friend Lorraine is here in the studio as well. And she just opened up the blinds, and it is gorgeous outside. It's beautiful. Sunshine, green trees, blue skies, and it's going to be a great weekend for getting outdoors and enjoying all the community celebrations. We have a forecast for you. Also, a couple of traffic updates. The Bicentennial Bridge in Benton Harbor closed until Tuesday. They were doing some maintenance work on it. For some reason, the bridges aren't lining back up together very well, so they're having to close it, get a new part in, and that won't be until Tuesday. And so that bridge is messed up between St. Joseph and Benton Harbor. Bicentennial Bridge traffic delays and reroutes, expect them. Also, up in South Haven this morning, we were notified from the city of South Haven that they're having some hydraulic problems with the Dykeman Bridge, so be careful around that one as well. All right, today's forecast does call for partly cloudy skies, just a slim chance of rain. I don't know where that's going to happen because it's blue skies and beautiful out there right now. High of 87 degrees today. The humidity not going to kick in really in force until tomorrow. Tonight's forecast, partly cloudy, a chance of a shower, a low overnight of 68 degrees. Friday's forecast, partly cloudy, chance of showers, hot and humid on your 4th of July, high around 90. Saturday's forecast, partly cloudy, hot and humid again, a high of 93. And then Sunday, that looks like it's going to be a rain event day. Partly cloudy skies, a good chance of showers and maybe some storms. Hot and humid conditions otherwise, and a high around 88 degrees. We have special guests in the studio this morning. We'll be catching up with Natalie Baggio, the president of Corewell Health in Southwest Michigan, in just a moment. Also with Stephanie Kohler-Pagan, the director of Lory's Place. And we're going to be talking about Lory's Place and the partnership between those two organizations and what's happening and what's going to happen going forward. So tune in for that. You can hear it here on the radio. You can also hear it on the video live stream, hear it and see it by going to YouTube, Facebook, or our WSJM Smart app. Let's get some news before we do that. The Bicentennial Bridge, as we mentioned, between Benton Harbor and St. Joseph is closed to land vehicles until at least Tuesday of next week. The Michigan Department of Transportation says crews this week were replacing a bridge cylinder, but when that was complete, they couldn't get the structure to close properly. That shut down westbound traffic for a time Wednesday afternoon, but then MDOT announced the bridge will be closed to all vehicular traffic, all land vehicular traffic, that is, this weekend. Boat traffic can still pass through because the bridge is in the open position. We will provide updates from MDOT when they become available. Again, if you're in the South Haven area for the Light Up the Lake tonight, the fireworks display up there, the city of South Haven tells us they're having some hydraulic problems with the Dykeman Bridge, and that could result in some traffic delays as well, so be aware. There is some good news for drivers, we promise. The Michigan Department of Transportation says they're doing what they can to get out of the way this 4th of July weekend. Spokesperson Nick Sharippa tells us where they can, they are suspending some of those road construction projects.
Statewide, we are obviously lifting as many restrictions as possible, letting traffic move as smoothly as possible over the holiday weekend. You know, it's the big midsummer holiday. Probably lots of folks on the road this weekend.
Sharippa says some projects can't be totally swept to the side, but beginning at 3 o'clock today and continuing till 6 o'clock a.m. on Monday, they say 110 out of the 179 projects they have going on statewide will have lane restrictions removed.
Here in the Southwest region, we're removing restrictions on 18 of 31 projects, including several down along the lake shore. There will be some that remain in place, and those are probably worth noting, only because we're going to have lots of folks on the roads.
Some projects in Southwest Michigan that simply cannot be suspended. The work on 94, that's happening between St. Joseph and Stevensville. The work on 196 in Van Buren County, and a project at US 12 and Mayflower Road near Niles. Those projects, unfortunately, can't be moved to the side. They're going to continue work on that, so be careful. Sharippa reminds everyone, give yourself plenty of time this weekend and to ditch the distractions like your cell phone when you're behind the wheel. Other news, State Representative Brad Paquette has spoken on the Michigan House floor in favor of legislation that will prohibit schools, if passed, it'll prohibit schools in the state from serving foods that contain certain unnatural ingredients. It's House Bill 4369, which Paquette introduced. It lays out a list of 9 food additives that cannot be part of school lunches. He says allowing fake ingredients in the food we give children is not doing them any favors.
This bill begins to address a blatant problem, as many popular foods advertised to target children are distributed in schools and are paid for with taxpayer dollars, but use ingredients that are not actually food.
Paquette has advocated for natural ingredients in food, taking part in a protest over certain dyes used in Kellogg breakfast cereals last year. He says some of these substances only stunt the development of children and lead to behavioral problems.
A hard truth confronts us all, one that we cannot ignore. In Michigan classrooms, attention spans are going down and prescriptions for powerful medications are going up. But, Madam Speaker, food is medicine.
Among the substances that would be removed under Paquette's proposal, brominated vegetable oil, potassium bromate, and dyes including red 40, green number 3, blue number 1, and yellow number 6. If the bill passes, it will take effect in July of next year. One more story. South Haven, the City Hall is closed today, Thursday, July 3rd, extending their Independence Day holiday shutdown. Why? Well, because of a persistent failure of the building's air conditioning system. They say the closure comes a day earlier than the planned holiday observance for City Hall and the Department of Public Works. Officials say they've been without functional air conditioning since Monday, and they can't get replacement parts until sometime next week. So the City Hall is scheduled to reopen on Monday. The previously announced City Council meeting will also proceed as planned on the evening of July 7, and residents are encouraged to plan any necessary city business accordingly. That's unfortunate. It's summertime. You want air conditioning. It's 7:11. It's the WSJM Morning Show. We have more news to talk about. We'll have the latest from Bloomberg. Our financial update is coming up at 7:30 this morning. Also, the latest world and national news from ABC. We've got sports on the radio coming up from Dave Wolf in just a moment. First off, though, I want to say hello again to our special guests in studio, Natalie Baggio from Corewell Health, Southwest Michigan. She's the president there. And Stephanie Kohler-Pagan, the director of Lory's Place. Good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
I especially appreciate that you're here on the day before the fireworks, right? Well, it's fireworks today, fireworks tomorrow, fireworks last night. Did you hear any last night? We heard some.
Oh, yes.
Okay. All right. As long as they stay safe and don't blow off their fingers, Corewell is happy. Well, all right. Well, good morning and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Natalie Baggio, we learned this morning that this is your 1-year anniversary serving as the president of Corewell Health in Southwest Michigan. Can we ask you just a quick, for those who don't know you already, a quick introduction? Who is Natalie Baggio, your origin story?
I moved here from St. Louis, Missouri about 8 years ago. It was 8 years ago in June, actually.
Wow.
And
June's a busy month for you.
Yeah.
All right.
And I moved here as the chief nurse. So my background's in nursing. I had an undergrad in business, went to MBA, and then I decided I wanted to do something else.
Yeah.
And I enrolled in nursing school and I became a nurse. And I've loved every minute of being in healthcare and serving people and serving a community.
Wow.
And as you know, I'm now the president.
Yeah. Now, I mean, is that a traditional track, nurse to president?
It's not traditional,
yeah,
actually. And it wasn't something that I originally aspired to do. And had a great mentor, as a lot of people know, Dr. Lory Hamill.
Yeah.
And he saw opportunity and he discussed it with me. And I was obliged to explore it. And now I love it.
Yeah, I'm sure there was a long road in between, and we'll ask you about that during the hour. But also, do you miss nursing at all? Do you still get time to nurse?
I do not have time to practice.
All right.
But I was actually responding to an issue we had at one of our Niles hospitals with a transformer that went down.
Oh, no.
Working on backup generator. And I was thinking last week when I was there, how much I miss being able to be in the action sometimes and helping. But no, I cannot do it formally.
You can always do the undercover CEO thing.
Yeah.
Just, go into some of your...
I mean, I can still move patients and help with patient care in that way. So.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that. We appreciate that. Stephanie Kohler-Pagan, director of Lory's Place. Again, you've been in here before, but tell us, for those who might have missed it, give us your origin story. Introduce yourself, please.
Absolutely. Well, I actually came to Lory's Place when we opened. So 21 years ago, and I took 2 little boys. We were grieving ourselves. And after we completed the program, an opportunity came about, and I've been there for 18 years now.
Wow.
So it's been a long time. I celebrate on the 7th, I believe, 18 years.
18 years.
18 years doing grief work. Started as a coordinator and then a lead coordinator, and became director more than 7 years ago now. So,
And Lory's Place, the mission of Lory's Place, we'll talk about this at length, but
sure.
For people who don't know about Lory's Place or haven't had any interaction with Lory's Place yet, what is Lory's Place?
Mm-hmm. Well, Lory's Place, our tagline is we're a grief healing and education center. And what that means is we work with people who've had someone die in their life. And so it's about creating those safe spaces through peer support groups, also one-on-one support. That education piece is so important in our community.
Yeah.
If you've been at the funeral home and not known what to say, part of that is learning, how we can support the bereaved and what we can do in those crisis situations to be helpful to one another.
Okay. All right. With Stephanie Kohler-Pagan, director of Lory's Place, and Natalie Baggio, the president of Corewell Health in Southwest Michigan. We will continue this conversation on the video live stream right now on the WSJM Morning Show. On the radio, we've got sports with Dave Wolf.
Right.
All right. Continuing on the video live stream. It's 7:16. It's Thursday, July 3rd. And again, we have special guests, Natalie Baggio, president of Corewell Health, Southwest Michigan, and Stephanie Kohler-Pagan, director of Lory's Place. Can we just shorten your title, Natalie, just a little bit so we can just call you president of Corewell? Is that fine?
No.
Because we know it. I mean, this is our hospital. We know Corewell.
Yes.
You're the president here.
Yes, of our Lakeland hospitals.
Of our
Yes.
Lakeland
Yes.
hospitals. All right. That's fine. But if I slip up, you'll know what I mean.
Yes.
Stephanie, thanks for sharing about the mission of Lory's Place.
Sure.
Maybe go a little bit deeper for those who might not know the origin story of Lory's Place itself.
Absolutely. In 2004, in January, Dr. Lory Schultz died tragically in a car accident, leaving behind her husband and two small children, Eric and Sophia, who are now on our board, by the way. And from that, she was very good friends with Lisa Bartosik, who was the person that started Lory's Place with Ron Schultz. And at that time, there was a wonderful group of community members that came around this idea, really, to think about now, after 21 years, supporting a nonprofit in our area, a grief center, freestanding, was just remarkable. And it came together. Lory died in January of 2004, and Lory's Place opened in November of that same year. So
Wow.
if that tells you the passion that was behind the belief in that mission, that still exists today, of course. But in that amount of time, we've served more than 62,000 people.
62,000.
62,000 through our peer support groups, that one-on-one. We have significant community outreach. We wrapped up our programming year at the 1st of June, serving kids in 56, I think, different groups throughout 3 counties. So this service and support is broad.
Yeah.
It is broad.
I
Yeah.
can't imagine where, I mean, you're as you mentioned, your tagline is you're there to help people seeking grief, healing, and education.
Mhm.
And I can't imagine a place where 62,000 people would not have had that.
Absolutely. Especially in this small community.
That's a big help.
It's quite remarkable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this community has come around that mission all these years. And while we've had partnerships throughout the years, as I mentioned earlier, we have created an environment of fundraising, grant writing, individual donations that has we've been able to meet that budget year after year after year.
Yeah.
And Corewell Health has been significant and really supporting us with a lot of those administrative tasks that we would typically have to pay for.
Yeah.
So we're working on those things right now as we begin that separation process.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk about that separation process here in just a moment. We've got to get back. We've got some weather to get to for your holiday weekend. So we're going to have that. And then we're going to come back and talk a little bit more about this on the WSJM Morning Show. We thank you for listening and joining. And we'll be back in just a moment on WSJM.
Advisory services offered by Capital Asset Advisory Services, LLC, a registered investment advisor.
Taking the fear out of your future. Austin Tax and Financial.
Partly sunny skies today. Slight chance of an afternoon shower. High temperatures getting up around 85 this afternoon, with a slight chance of shower continuing into this evening. We'll drop down to 68 overnight tonight And tomorrow, partly sunny, hot and humid. Chance of an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. High temperatures around 90. I'm WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
7:20, it's the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning, I'm Ken Lundberg. We've got 70 degrees out in St. Joseph right now, 68 in Buchanan, and I'm just looking at low humidity all over the place. It looks good. It feels good. Weather check. For those of you who were outside most recently, is it nice outside still?
Beautiful.
It's beautiful outside? Okay. Can we keep this weather all weekend long?
Please.
Yes. Yeah, but we can't. We can't, unfortunately, because of the forecast. And we appreciate WSBT bringing us the real information because it's going to be hot and humid. Just make sure that you're hydrating properly this whole weekend long because you're going to have a lot of fun out there. It's going to be an extended weekend. By the time Sunday rolls around, you're going to be feeling dehydrated if you don't. So do that. All right. We have our special guests in studio right now, Natalie Baggio, who's the president of Corewell Health South in Southwest Michigan, and Stephanie Kohler-Pagan, director of Lory's Place. We've been talking on the video live stream a little bit about backgrounds and the mission of Lory's Place. And Stephanie Kohler-Pagan, can you again just give us the tagline? What's the core mission of Lory's Place for those who weren't on the video live stream?
Yeah, if you're thinking about our mission and vision, it's to build hope and strength for every grieving person.
Yeah, people who have suffered loss,
Absolutely, death.
Okay.
Yes, we know grief comes in a million different shapes and sizes, but we do stay in our lane. We work with people who've experienced a death.
Yeah, and one of the things that you mentioned the last time you were on the WSJM Morning Show that's stuck with me until today and will for the rest of my life is that grief is like something that stays with you forever. If you put it on a shelf and don't deal with it, it's still going to be there. Mm-hmm. It's not going to expire. It's like honey in the cupboard. It never expires.
Yeah, it'll wait for you. And we've had people, it's been close to 30 years. And they've realized that every relationship they've tried to have, every job they've tried to have is impacted by this grief they never unpacked.
Yeah.
And it's never too late. And so at Lory's Place, it doesn't matter how long it's been, they can come in and we're going to support them.
So it's important work that Lory's Place has been doing in the community. How and when did Lory's Place get connected with Corewell Health?
Okay. The history is quite long.
We've got time. It's a holiday weekend.
Exactly. Let's just sit back and relax.
Yeah. No.
Well, when we opened, we were a part of what was called Hospice at Home, which rebranded to Caring Circle. And then in 2012, Lakeland and Hospice at Home merged together. And after that, I think it was 2018 when Spectrum Health came along and said, we want to join the party. And then Beaumont Health came along and eventually became Corewell Health.
Okay.
So it's been a long history of connection and partnerships.
And really, what is that connection? What has that partnership been?
It's really been, Lory's Place has functioned very autonomously, essentially. And it wasn't until we partnered with Spectrum Health and eventually Corewell Health that some of those administrative things started to become covered by the health system.
Okay.
So essentially, we were creating and making our own budget through those community dollars I mentioned. And then we could settle back in a little bit and have that additional support, which has been wonderful. And part of the reason I think today that we can say that partnership has allowed us to successfully separate.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the separation is what stage is it in right now?
Absolutely. So we are in that process of filing and, you wait patiently for the IRS and that's what we're doing. But in the meantime, we're working on what that runway needs to look like. The services, as I mentioned, that Lory's Place will need to have in place and Corewell Health, Lory's Place, those people that are above me making those decisions, helping us figure out what that can look like because there's so many switches that need to get flipped in order to make that happen. But it requires a lot of synergy and it's a process that we're all unified on and feel really good about.
Okay. And that's what we've had conversations about, that it's an amicable separation.
100%.
And it's a continuing, there will be a continuation of the partnership. So Natalie, let's bring you into the conversation to talk a little bit about what does that look like? How will Corewell and Lory's Place, both of you, how will that operate moving forward? And what has it meant in the past as well?
Yeah, I think the services that Lory's Place provides this community is foundational, and how we interact with Lory's Place in the hospital will continue. Our operations and relationship will not change. How Lory's Place performs their business will change. And that's how Stephanie and I look at this. This is a true partnership. This is a partnership between us and Lory's Place, like we have with other organizations within our community, to support the health and well-being of our community.
Okay.
And our team members. I mean, Lory's Place does a lot of work to help our team members as well, because they experience grief, and Stephanie and her team respond to that, and we'll continue that relationship.
Okay.
And just going back to what Stephanie mentioned about sustainability in the community, 2 big fundraisers in the last 9 months, big successes.
Absolutely.
And I think that these fundraisers were after we've made this decision, and I think it just shows the community support, still the support of Corewell Health, and that will continue to be a vital part of their success.
Yeah. One of the things that we've talked about prior to this is, there's a lot of paperwork that will happen on your end to do this, to become 2 independent entities. How will the general public, how will your clients at Lory's Place benefit from this?
I think that the messaging will be a little bit clearer to our community. As much as we would love to get in front of every single person to explain how we are situated, that's really difficult. And I think when we are able to stand alone, so to speak, I think that messaging will be a little bit clearer to our community. I think that knowing that we're separating and have this continued partnership, I don't plan on letting go of Natalie and Corewell Health, and the work that we've done is so significant. It's been many years, and we've partnered with team members in the hospital to create crisis response plans. We've worked with leaders to support team members in crisis situations at the hospital. But when we've had team members die, you can't have those hundreds and hundreds of people. There's going to be death there. And to know that we have that communication plan in place and that partnership ready to go in a moment's notice, that will not change. So all of those key factors will still be in existence.
Okay, very good. Thank you for explaining that. Stephanie Kohler-Pagan is the director of Lory's Place. Natalie Baggio is the president of Corewell Health in Southwest Michigan. We will continue this conversation on the video live stream in just a couple of moments. We also have here on the radio our Bloomberg report. That's coming up in just a moment. Also, the latest world and national news from ABC, our local news preview, weather, sports, and a whole lot more. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
Soar to new heights of winning with Eagle Casino and Sports. Enjoy your favorite games wherever you are, whether at home or on the go. Dive into exciting slots, spin the roulette wheel, or challenge yourself with virtual table games, all at your fingertips. Sign up now and opt in to receive a deposit match up to $1,500 for the casino, plus up to 100 free spins. Download the Eagle Casino and Sports app today and experience winning with just a tap. Go you. Must be located in Michigan and 20.
We're back on the video live stream. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Sorry for the side conversations. As you can imagine, Lory's Place being established here in the community for so long, and Corewell Health being established here in the community through various names and operations, there's a lot to get through. And so we were talking just a moment ago about some of the fundraising stuff. So let's continue to talk about the community benefits.
Yep, absolutely. I think it's key to point out that we have a budget of about $500,000. So raising those funds is critical. And we do that through some fundraising, some grant writing, but our individual donations, many of whom are participants. And that's what we call the people who come and receive our services. And all of that is because we don't charge anything for what we provide. And I appreciate Lorraine reminding me it's something we really need to drive home to people. When you're grieving and you're in the midst of, in the depths of that grief, That's one thing people don't have to worry about. They can come and receive support. at
No charge.
No charge.
No charge. You mentioned the funding sources or contributions, individual contributions and grant writing. Lot of nonprofit organizations have been looking at what the federal government has been doing and become concerned because they're seeing funding dry up. How does that affect you?
It affects us. We do not apply for any federal funding ourselves through Lory's Place, but certainly many of the grants that we write, the foundations that are providing those funds, they are definitely impacted by some of those cuts.
Is there a way that you're thinking about how that's going to look in the future?
We have to continue to search and find
other
funding sources, get a little bit more unique in our thought processes about fundraising. And we have a great board that really has some really creative, unique ideas. So in 2026, we plan to roll out kind of a new fundraising plan. You know, the two fundraisers that people know and love will remain as Natalie shared. They're successful. Our Run Walk Rock. Yep. Which we love. And Johnny comes and does the radio for us.
And I finally learned it's Run Walk Rock, not Run Rock Rock. Can't say it.
It's a tongue.
Run Walk Rock.
It's a tongue twister. Just know you get a donut at the end.
Donuts. Yes, easy to say.
That's the most important thing to keep.
But if you barely make it through the 5K like myself, you probably
that's when the rocking chair is coming.
Exactly. Maybe that's what I'll be next year. The rocking chair.
So there's the Run Walk Walk. What's the other big one that you want people to know about?
Reflections. It's our dinner auction, and that happens in November 21st this year. Again, at Union and Social. People loved that space. It is wonderful. And so it'll be there again.
Yeah. One of the things I keep thinking about is you can't have a healthcare system without acknowledging and knowing that death is part of it. And so how will that partnership continue to move forward from Corewell's perspective?
I mean, Stephanie and I have discussed this in depth. We don't really see a change.
Okay.
I mean, the way we communicate now, the way her team responds to people or patients or families in the hospital, we don't see any gaps in that process.
Okay.
Moving forward.
So people on the outside not going to see a difference at all. That's great news.
I love the fact that and I'm not a physician or a nurse, but I've heard that what's really wonderful is that when death happens within the hospital or doctor's office or whatever, that there's something that they can offer, you know, because you often, as I'm told, feel like, you know, death happens and then our job is done.
Yeah, you feel helpless, right?
You feel helpless. But what you can do is say, hey, I have a place that you can go.
Yeah.
Call or walk in and they're going to support you.
Lory's Place.
And also, since Lory's Place has been so successful and well supported by the community, people in these situations know someone who's utilized Lory's Place.
Very true.
And already know that they would like to be in contact with Lory's Place. So I think their reputation and success also will be a lending support to us just continuing the work that we're doing today.
Okay. All right. We're going to continue this conversation with Natalie Baggio, the president of Corewell Health in Southwest Michigan, and Stephanie Kohler-Pagan, director of Lory's Place, in just a moment, right here on the WSJM Morning Show. We've got to get some news in. We've got the latest from ABC coming up in just a moment. We'll also have the latest weather forecast for your holiday weekend on WSJM.
Working in Marion, Cass, and Van Buren counties right now at moodyonthemarket.com through Sunday, July 6th. It's free and open to employers, the public, family, and self-nominations. We're looking for people that make a positive impact in their community by growing their business or nonprofit, individuals that serve their communities as a volunteer, and those who are consistently learning, personally growing, and helping others. If this sounds like you or someone you know, make your nomination for this year's 40 Under 40 right now at moodyonthemarket.com. That's moodyonthemarket.com.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
7:34, it's the WSJM Morning Show. It continues on Thursday, July 3rd. Hope you have a great holiday weekend planned and hope your travels are good. I hope you have some patience during your travels as well, because if you're on the roadways, you're going to run into some traffic issues. That's understandable. Michigan Department of Transportation is clearing a lot of their construction off the roadway. Unfortunately, in Southwest Michigan, we're not going to see a lot of that clearing off. They're going to continue working hard so that we have nice roads later. The bridges. Let's talk about the bridges for a moment. Bicentennial Bridge in Benton Harbor, St. Joseph. The Bicentennial Bridge closed to land vehicles until Tuesday, and that is because they were doing some maintenance on the bridge, replacing a cylinder. Everything didn't work out right, and so the bridge didn't line up. So anyway, it's closed to land traffic through Tuesday. Boats are going to be able to go through, so the boaters are happy. Also up in South Haven, we got a notice from the city of South Haven this morning that they're having hydraulic issues with the Dykeman Bridge, and hopefully they can get those resolved soon, but they do say expect some traffic delays in that area because of that issue. Hopefully they'll have that resolved as well in time for the fireworks tonight, the Light Up the Lake up in South Haven, because that could be a traffic nightmare. Again, some more patience recommended. Okay, weather forecast for this weekend. This is what you're looking for. Partly cloudy skies, mostly sunshine, though. A high today around 87 degrees with just light winds out of the northwest. Tonight's forecast, partly cloudy, a chance of a shower, a low around 68. Shouldn't be anything to really encumber your vision as you're seeing the fireworks all over Southwest Michigan. Friday's forecast, partly cloudy skies. We're going to get that heat and that humidity moving back in. A high tomorrow around 90 degrees. Winds out of the south, bringing the humidity in 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday's forecast, partly cloudy, hot and humid again, a high around 93. And then Sunday, rain, partly cloudy skies, a 40% chance of showers and maybe some storms, hot and humid, and a low around 73 overnight and a high around 88. More from our conversation. We're talking with Corewell Health Southwest Michigan President Natalie Baggio and the director of Lory's Place, Stephanie Kohler-Pagan, on the future of of Lory's Place. So we'll talk about that in a moment. It's good news, and that's coming up right here on the WSJM Morning Show. We've got news right now from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. House Speaker Hakeem Jeffries has been talking for hours against the budget bill President Trump has said he wants passed by the 4th of July.
This one big, ugly bill will hurt the quality of life of hardworking American taxpayers, and it's all designed to put a happy smile on the face of billionaires. That is inconsistent with the Declaration of Independence and what we should be celebrating on July 4th.
Republicans say the bill will return economic prosperity to America and cut waste and fraud. A vote is expected this morning. 18 people shot, 4 killed in a drive-by shooting in Chicago. It happened outside a nightclub. Police say a car pulled up. Those inside opened fire. Then the car sped away. The government releases new jobs numbers today. Hiring expected to have slowed last month. Unemployment expected to have risen to about 4.3%, according to most economists. This is ABC News.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
7:37, it's the WSJM Morning Show for your Thursday, July 3rd. I'm Ken Lundberg. Some of the news that we're covering at 8 o'clock this morning. The Bicentennial Bridge between Benton Harbor and St. Joseph closed to land vehicle traffic, at least until Tuesday. Why? Well, the Michigan Department of Transportation was working on it, and they couldn't get the bridge to close properly. So for safety reasons, they've got it closed till Tuesday. That's when they'll have the part and the people to put stuff back in place. Other news that we'll cover at 8 o'clock this morning: moves to clamp down on illegal block parties are happening in Benton Harbor. The city commission is considering a new set of ordinances prohibiting what they call nuisance parties that disturb the peace and sometimes lead to deadly violence. We'll have that story coming up at 8 o'clock. Also, U.S. Coast Guard wave to them and say hi because they're stepping up their presence on Lake Michigan this 4th of July weekend to make sure people are being safe on the water. That means don't be inebriated while you're driving a boat. 7:38, WSJM Morning Show continues. We've got sports with Dave Wolf coming up in just a moment after a look at state news.
The Michigan News.
All right, continuing our conversation on the WSJM Morning Show video live stream. Natalie, I have a million questions. You've been in the role for a year now. Do you like it? How is it?
I love it.
Yeah? Is it what you expected?
I didn't have a lot of expectations, I guess, but
Okay.
I love providing support to our team members, advocating for their happiness in their job and their work, and really enjoyed working with our community partners.
Yeah.
So.
What's the day in the life of a president of a hospital? I watch House. You ever watch House?
Yes.
Is it like that?
Kind of,
Okay.
but in a little different way. It
In a
can
better
be in
way.
a lot of different places
All right.
at many different times through the day. But it's busy, but I enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, day in the life. You get there. Does it go as planned?
Never.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's pretty organized. I start my day and I'm meeting with people, building relationships, listening, taking action based off of feedback other people are giving me, helping move projects forward, thinking strategically. It's a variety of responsibility, and I really enjoy it. But at the end of the day, it's the outcome for the health and well-being of the people that work there and the people in our community.
Yeah, I mean, you're operating a huge organization, and at the same time, so other organizations, they operate. I mean, when you think about Whirlpool Corporation, they've got, the structure, the hierarchy, and everything else. But at the end of the day, you've got human lives and the balance and people's health, and I mean, something that's very, very important to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you think about that, like we talk about like our safety indicators. And we just celebrated in our St. Joe ICU over 2 years without a central line infection.
Wow.
And that's unheard of.
Tell people,
nationally.
for people who don't know what that is, or like me, what does that mean?
So it's a large bore catheter that goes into a vein where you can give lots of volume, like fluids, et cetera, life-saving mechanisms of IV fluids. And it puts patients, though, at risk for infection because you're accessing it, and it's a large bore into usually your neck area.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of responsibility to keep it clean, dry, and intact.
Yeah.
And our critical care team has just done an amazing job. And now they're being asked to speak at a national level.
Really?
And it just speaks to the level of collaboration between nurses and doctors and our mid-levels and our PIC team and just so many people that it takes to take care of a patient. But I find a lot of pride and joy in teams that do work like that are excellent and can share their knowledge and their successes with others.
That's great. Congratulations to you and the team on that.
Yeah, the team, amazing work.
And anything unexpected in the role? Anything that you didn't think it might be?
Well, that's a good question.
I'm putting Natalie on the spot here. Sorry.
I didn't realize that I would spend as much time in the community as I do, but I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I enjoy getting to know other people like Stephanie and building these community partnerships on how we can together collectively align our own missions and solve for issues in the community. I think health and wellness is one thing. Another thing we've been working on since the pandemic is stabilizing our workforce.
Yeah.
So we've been building our relationships with the universities and like Michigan Works and other entities who are interested and have infrastructure to help build that workforce. And we're doing that. We're building career pipelines. We just graduated 47 nurses in May.
Wow.
That are now working in our hospitals through our partnerships and our pipelines. And, this is something we've done for many years, and we're just going to continue to bolster those relationships and continue to have thought partners in this area and expand our vision for success.
Last question for you, and then I'll start picking on Stephanie here. What do you do when you're not president of Corewell? What do you do for fun? What do you do to decompress?
Well, now I'm running again, thanks to the Lory's Place fundraiser. And I enjoy golfing and being outdoors.
Okay.
Yeah, I love the sunshine.
Yeah. It's going to be a good weekend for golf if you like the heat.
I do like the heat. I'm from the Midwest, south part of the Midwest, and a lot of humidity. So
yeah, when we had our earlier conversation, you mentioned something about you don't know how you've survived the Michigan winters here.
Yeah, that's been an adjustment, but I have to say the natural beauty here outweighs anywhere I've lived in the past.
It really does.
I love living in this community.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. Stephanie, some of the things, and we'll have in a moment, some of the programs that you do at Lory's Place. But first, let's give a quick shout out to the team there. You're very proud of your team.
I am incredibly proud of my team. They are amazing. We have Trisha, Denise, Janine, Mary, and Ronika. So 6 of us drive all the work that I mentioned. And they are just incredible.
Just
and I
6
am
of
so
you.
blessed.
That's
Just
awesome.
6 of us. So we really rely on our volunteers. We have volunteer facilitators that are specifically trained to work with our bereaved. And so they help drive that work. But as far as on staff, there's just 6 people.
Okay. We're going to talk more about the programs that you offer for bereavement
Perfect.
in just a moment, right here on the WSJM Morning Show.
Afternoon shower. High temperatures getting up around 85 this afternoon, with a slight chance of shower continuing into this evening. We'll drop down to 68 overnight tonight. And tomorrow, partly sunny, hot and humid. Chance of an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. High temperatures around 90. I'm WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
7:45, it's the WSJM Morning Show, Thursday, July 3rd. I'm Ken Lundberg. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Let's do our Moody on the Market update for this hour. It's brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today. They are your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. And our Moody on the Market update that we provide on the WSJM Morning Show is about stuff that's posted up on moodyonthemarket.com, stories that we bring you about interesting people, life in Southwest Michigan and why we love it here, and business updates. And honestly, I mean, I think we hit all 3 in this update today because we're talking with interesting people. We're talking about stuff that happens in Southwest Michigan and that makes us love life here even more, and business updates. And so, again, just to bring people in who haven't heard yet, Stephanie, tell us just a little bit, or Natalie, tell us just a little bit about what's happening with the relationship with Corewell Health and Lory's Place.
Absolutely.
Just recap.
Sure. So we're in the process of separating from the health system and forming our own 501c3. That is just kind of the technical view of it.
Right.
The partnership remains intact and will for a very long time. Natalie and I have talked very much at length about the importance of that partnership continuing, and that Lory's Place is just in the good spot to be able to separate successfully.
And part of that what do you want to call it? Independence.
Sure.
Is going to help you think with fundraising.
Absolutely. I think that the messaging will be a little bit clearer. I think, as Natalie pointed out earlier, once people started to understand more about the structure and what the plan for the future was, our fundraising efforts in this past year have been even more successful.
Okay, great. Anything to add to that, Natalie?
I'll just say, I've been so impressed with learning more about this program over the last year with Stephanie. And I've shared with her from working in other areas of the country how unique it is for our community to have a program like this, and how valuable it is for losing a mother at a very young age. I could have really used something like this. And I've seen the impact this program has made on people I know. And it's just, we're very fortunate to have a jewel like this in our community. And it's something that we want to continue and sponsor and support. And I've told Stephanie, hopefully she can help other communities have something like this in the future.
Absolutely.
Because we're very fortunate.
Yeah, seeing that grow, that treasure that we have in Southwest Michigan with that ongoing partnership that Corewell will have with Lory's Place, we appreciate that.
Absolutely.
No, that's good. Stephanie, you mentioned the core mission is to help people who are seeking grief healing and education work through their grief when they lose a loved one, when somebody dies. What are some of the programs that you have available to people there?
Absolutely. I'll start with what we call our in-house groups, those that happen at our center. And if you haven't been there, we invite anyone who wants to come in and take a peek, even if you haven't had someone in your life die. So what we offer are peer support groups. So we work with kids as little as 3, elementary, middle, high school students. Also, our adult programming is quite vast. We have general adult loss, so whether that death was sudden or prolonged, suicide loss support, substance-related, homicide loss, and miscarriage, stillbirth, and infant death within the first year of life.
Okay.
And then we also have our expanded programming. It's a newer space for us. We built out the space next door, and that's really adult focused. So there's everything from advanced care planning classes, computer classes, cooking for one, a just coffee where people can just come in, have a cup of coffee, kind of practice those social skills after that person they used to share that cup with in the morning is gone. And then we have our community outreach, as I mentioned. Those school groups, we pack our bags and tote all kinds of fun activities into the school during the school day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And how do people get in touch with, how do people find more information about Lory's Place and get in touch?
Yep. People can, first of all, walk in or they can give us a call.
Where are you located?
We are at 445 Upton Drive, right in St. Joseph, down in the Edgewater area.
Okay.
They can also reach us. You will want to right now search for Lory's Place on the web. You'll find us under the Corewell Health Foundation right now. One of the things we're working on is a new website. Of
Fun.
course, right. And Hope Bossy is doing a great job building that out for us.
Okay.
Absolutely. But you can also just walk in, find us on Facebook, Instagram. We try to make ourselves as accessible as possible. We also try to make the process as easy as possible. So if you call in or walk in, no matter who helps you, Trisha, our administrative assistant, she can help walk you through that process, get you that intake appointment without having to repeat your story over and over again.
Great. That's good to hear. Okay. Lory's Place, Lory''S, Lory's Place. Just search for them on the web. You'll find them. They have a lot of great information already on the web, and that will continue going forward. That's our Moody on the Market update for this hour. The Moody on the Market update brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today. They are your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. We'll be back to conclude this interview in a moment on the radio. We're going to continue our conversation on the video live stream on WSJM.
Insurance Management Service.
All right, continuing on the video live stream. See, this hour has gone by quickly, has it not?
Yes, so fast.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's fun.
Yes. That means they're having fun, Lorraine.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
That's right.
Natalie, you want to talk about programs, what you're excited about at Corewell Health?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Go ahead.
One of the things that we've been working on for many years is just been creating more access in healthcare. And the way we are accomplishing that is moving out into other communities. We just opened recently a new clinic in Bridgman and Dowagiac, and we're continuing to grow those areas. We're opening up a new cardiology clinic in Watervliet at the end of this month. And we have plans to continue to move into areas where people within our counties do not have primary health care and open up new clinics. And another way that we're strengthening partnerships, we've invested in a mobile clinic with Cass Family Clinic, and we'll be doing a ribbon cutting on that next week.
Really?
And they will be helping support going into areas today where we don't have bricks and mortar and having same day appointments, lab draws, and being able to provide access to communities.
I mean, that's the important word, right? Access to healthcare, because so many people, we love going to see the doctor, right? Okay, maybe not sometimes. But you're removing resistance, you're removing a hurdle, letting people get there in a more convenient way.
And what's really important to us and part of our mission is having healthcare local.
Yeah.
And where people live. And that's been part of our strategy. And we're seeing that now come to life. And we're going to continue to build and expand on it.
Yeah. You mentioned the Bridgman facility, and that just seemed to pop up overnight. And it looks great.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
And now we're working on urgent care strategies.
Okay.
So we'll be expanding into some of these communities as well, because we understand that there is tension between bringing more providers to the community, establishing panels of patients. But if we can create ways for patients to be seen in a more immediate way, that's part of our vision as well.
You thought of the question I was going to ask before I asked it. Like, if you had a wand, if you had a magic power, what would you do to make things better for folks? And that's
it.
That's part of it.
Yeah, that is part of it. And we are building more workforce housing because we know housing is an issue in our community and bringing people in. So we've had a lot of support through local municipalities to do that. And we're very thankful for that.
Yeah. Okay. We're talking with Natalie Baggio, president of Corewell Health in Southwest Michigan, and Stephanie Kohler-Pagan, director of Lory's Place. The two are technically on paper separating.
Right.
But it's amicable.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be a great partnership going forward. So we look forward to wrapping up this interview in just a couple of moments. Anything else that we need to cover while we're on the video live stream here? Anything else?
I just want to acknowledge the courage it takes to walk in or make a call to Lory's place. It's not an easy thing to do, but I just want to assure people that there's some really lovely people that are going to meet them on the other side to help them do the work to find new hope and a new normal.
Yeah. Very good. Okay. Thank you. We'll be back with more in just a moment. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
Can feel overwhelming when you're not sure who to trust.
Should I care if they're licensed, experienced, and insured?
Yes, you should. Call the experts and feel at ease with McGee's. They know the rules and they don't cut corners. Trust the people that care, who know how to do it right the first time. All you need to do is work with McGee's once to see the difference, and they'll be the first call every time. Feel at ease with McGee's. Call today for your estimate.
Feel at ease with McGee's.
Your local Bryant Factory authorized dealer.
From the Pat Moody Studios, this is WSJM-FM Benton Harbor, St. Joseph, a product of Midwest Family Marketing and Media. Proudly serving our community. The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
It's the WSJM Morning Show, 7:55. I'm Ken Lundberg. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. And thank you to our special guests who have been in studio this hour. Natalie Baggio, president of Corewell Health in Southwest Michigan, and Stephanie Kohler-Pagan, the director of Lory's Place. We've been talking about how the two entities are separating. Lory's Place is becoming more independent. Corewell Health and Lory's Place still partnering. And the bottom line, and Stephanie, you mentioned it again just a moment ago, the bottom line is the public will see no difference.
Absolutely no difference whatsoever in the services that they will receive.
That's good.
Yeah, absolutely. We have new plans for some new programming, and I think if anything, we're just ready to continue to soar. We have increased our numbers year after year, and I see no reason why that wouldn't change along with our partnership.
Well, people are happy to hear that. I'm just looking at the video live stream and some of the comments coming in. Let's see. Bernice, who's a regular listener, says, great collaboration with Corewell Health and Lory's Place in our community. It's a great partnership. Others are saying, keep up the good work. Let's see. Janine says, our community is amazing. So a lot of positive vibes coming out there for you. So thank you. Anything else that we need the community to know?
We'll be back.
We'll be
I
back.
think.
Absolutely.
We'll be sharing more.
We know. We know you're going to be back.
We know. And as soon as we get that official word, there's a plan for further communication to go out to the community. Okay. It's taking all of us, Corewell Health, Lory's Place, in this community for us all to be successful in this process.
So what Stephanie's referring to is the waiting game right now is you're waiting on the IRS.
Yes.
Your organization deals with helping people get through death. Okay, so death and taxes. This is what we're waiting on right now.
We are assured of, right?
I had to do it. It's a dad joke. I got 3 boys. All right. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Thank you very much. We, in all seriousness, I very much appreciate both of you coming in here today and talking about this issue. Breaking up isn't easy to do, and you're not really breaking up at all, because Lory's Place will continue in its form and fashion, and that partnership with Corewell Health will continue, and it'll probably continue to grow strong as well.
You'll see us as sponsors for Lory's Place, and I'll just say, nothing is changing for the community.
Yeah.
We're just changing the way we do our work.
Yeah.
On the back end.
Said.
Yeah.
The paperwork.
The paperwork.
Yeah.
Right?
Who likes paperwork anyway?
Exactly. That boring stuff.
Let's just get AI to do it, because we got to do the important stuff.
That's coming.
Oh boy. All right. Natalie Baggio is the president of Corewell Health in Southwest Michigan. We should get you in here for an hour all by yourself, because I think that'd be fun.
Okay.
You seem like a fascinating individual. Missouri is the show me state, right?
It is. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Stephanie Kohler-Pagan is the director of Lory's Place. And again, if you want any information on how to get help with your grief healing and some education about grief and how to get beyond the loss of a loved one through death, check out Lory's Place and Google them up on the web, LORY''S, Lory's Place. They have a great history and they do a great thing in our community, as does Corewell Health as well. So thank you for joining us on the WSJM Morning Show. If you missed any part of that interview, you can check it out. It's on our video archive on Facebook and YouTube. It's there for you to watch at your leisure. What do we have coming up next hour? We have a whole bunch of information. We'll get you the latest local news from our WSJM newsroom, the latest world and national news from ABC. We're watching closely the U.S. House of Representatives. They are supposed to have that final vote on the mega bill. That is coming up this hour. So we'll report to you updates as we get them here on the WSJM Morning Show. Weather-wise, for your holiday weekend, it's looking really good. Partly cloudy skies today, even though we have pure sunshine outside right now. A high of 87 degrees and light wind out of the northwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. That's what's keeping the humidity down a little bit today and into tonight. Partly cloudy skies, a chance of a shower, and a low around 68.
ABC News. I'm Sherry Preston. Another all-nighter on Capitol Hill, this time